Hello everyone, and welcome to week 10 of English 120. This week you're going to be reading The Valley of the Moon just to the end of book 1, just a couple of chapters. Then our week 10 conversation will be discussing the entire book, the entire first book of The Valley of the Moon. Your research module will be on how to do online research. You will be signing up for conferences and participate in your conferences this week. There is a wiki to sign up for your conferences. Please make sure you fill in the time that works for you. These are during my office hours. If none of these times work for you, please contact me as soon as possible. There's a survey this week. This is part of everyone is evaluated at our college as a way to become better teachers. So this is a great opportunity for you to fill out this survey and give me feedback on how to improve this course, and also any positive feedback that you have about this course. Your research prospectus, this will be really good news for some of you, is I'm extending the due date for the research prospectus. It was due yesterday at 11:59, but you can still turn it in for full credit. The reason why I'm changing this deadline is because I would rather that you do it correctly. In order to get to your research prospectus, you must complete all of the steps that we've done up to this point. That means you should have already done your pre-writing on your topic and discovered a topic you really like that you feel like you can spend the rest of the semester with. Then you need to complete all of the exercises found in chapters 2 and 3 of the Bedford Researcher. When I say complete those exercises, I mean when it says do a search at the library using keywords, I want you to actually do that search at the library. So it's really important that you get this completed. So this week, we're going to be answering the following questions about Book 1 of The Valley of the Moon. So I'd like you to describe what's happened so far in The Valley of the Moon. And remember, whenever you answer a question as part of a discussion in this class, I'd like you to please use evidence from your book. That means cite the page number, use quotation marks, introduce a quote, use quotation marks around the quotation, and then tell us what page number that quotation is from. I'd like you to tell us who the two main characters are in this story. What are they like? And then how do you know that this is what they're like? That means give us evidence from the text to support what you're saying about them. Who would you have play them in the movie version of this text, and why? Who are the other characters, and how are these characters different from the main characters? What are the major events that happen in the first book? Why do you think these events are significant? What do you predict will happen next in this story, and why? Please make sure you give some careful thought into how you answer these questions. You're going to be showcasing to me your knowledge about the first book of The Valley of the Moon. Next week we will start the second book, and we'll start to understand more about what it's like to live in the city in Oakland and try to make a living and start a family at the turn of the century. So, you are on your way to completing your research project for this class. Don't worry, it's not all due until week 17. But this week, what you should be turning in is your research prospectus. Remember your research prospectus? It's an overview of the topic that you're going to be writing about in this class. That means you should really understand the topic that you're going to be writing about before you create your research prospectus. So before you complete it, you must complete some library research. You should have a clear idea about the research conversation about your topic and how you plan on joining it. How you plan on joining it is your research question. Your research question is a question that will lead you to answering your question as part of a thesis statement you'll make in your research paper. Your research question needs to be very focused. That means excuse me, you need to refine it so that it includes a conditional phrase such as although, because, even though. It needs to you need to have no vague words or phrases in your question. You need to use specific terms that you've used to conduct your preliminary searches about this topic, terms that you've gathered through reading the resources, all of this information you've gathered about your topic. These terms need to be a part of your research question. This should take you some time to really write a refined research question. If your research question does not contain conditional phrases, conditional words and phrases, if it doesn't have specific vocabulary that's specific to the topic that you're talking about, you will lose points on your research prospectus. So going back to your research prospectus, after you turn it in at the end of week 10, by the end of week 10, preferably by the time we meet for our conferences, which will happen by the end of week 10, then you will go on to do more research. That's when you're going to gather together a list of sources that you're going to provide to me in MLA format. After that, you're going to use those sources to make an annotated bibliography. And we'll talk more about what that means next week. From after you complete your annotated bibliography, then you will complete an outline, which will prepare you for writing your first draft, which is due in week 15. In week 16, you'll be doing a peer review and a self-review of your work, and then revising your paper based on those to turn it in week 17. Please make sure you let me know if you have any questions about your research project. All of the work that we've been doing in the Bedford Researcher is meant to prepare you for creating these documents, so please do not skip any of the steps. There's a lot of information in Chapter 3 about the research prospectus and about writing really good research questions, so please make sure you've read that. This week, you'll be completing the research module Online Research. This will really give you some great insight into how to do excellent online research for your research project. Next week, we'll continue in the Valley of the Moon to chapters 1 and 5 of Book 2, and you'll be answering questions about it in your research journal. You'll also be introducing your topic to the class and finding out who else is writing about the same topic of you. You'll be completing your research module, which is out of order, so pay attention. It will be the MLA documentation formatting, and your list of sources will be due. Please don't forget to sign up for a conference. There's a wiki page, and there are times posted in the wiki page. Please respond with a comment. Please edit the page by adding your name to the line next to the time that you would like to meet with me. I would prefer you to meet in person if at all possible. If there is absolutely no way that you can meet in person, please make arrangements with me as soon as possible to discuss an option of how we can meet. Thanks a lot. I look forward to seeing you online, and please don't forget, I have office hours if you want to talk about your research project. All right, see you later.